Hi everyone, welcome to Nourishing Brews. Thank you for coming and joining me, and for the next 7 days we'll be going over 7 different brews, 7 different lattes, some teas, an ACV tonic that I make here in New Zealand. So as you can see behind me, we are in summertime, which is really lovely at the moment. So over the next 7 days, yes, we'll be doing some lattes, some teas, and the ACV tonic, as I mentioned. Now, just a little bit about me, so it sort of gives you a little bit of an overview on where I'm coming from. Grew up in New Zealand on a dairy farm, your meat and 3 veg staple. So we had our big organic veggie garden, our fruit trees in our orchard, meat obviously, and milk and eggs with the chickens. So that was a really good sort of anchoring staple for my life growing up. Was, you know, as much as you can, getting your produce out of the garden, off the trees if you can. So sort of zooming up to about 15 years ago, my partner and I, Stephen, we delved into the raw organic food lifestyle after following a few health gurus, and decided that this was an optimal way to go at the time. So we got into juicing and raw foods and dehydrated foods. So it was quite a challenge. It was interesting because back then it was very unknown, and very not many people were doing that type of lifestyle. So we had to learn a few tricks and get a few extra tools for the kitchen, like your good juicer and dehydrator and blender and for smoothies and so forth. So that was interesting, and it was really nourishing for the body. It really gave the organs a rest from constantly digesting and working really hard to digest highly processed foods, which we didn't eat a lot of, but was just a different way of assimilating nutrients and minerals and vitamins, and keeping the body mainly, which is so important, in that alkaline state. So we did that for quite a few years, and then we sort of looked into it a little bit further, felt our weight was getting a little bit compromised. We were a bit lean, so we started to introduce back into some more cooked foods, which was nice. And then we transitioned back to a bit of vegetarian, so we incorporated back into eggs and milk. We got into raw goat's milk rather than cow's milk, for the obvious reasons of that it wasn't as mucus forming, and the structure of goat's milk is more suitable for humans rather than cow's milk. If you compare the size of a goat to the size of a cow and how that is grown from the milk of that animal. So then up until about 5 years ago, I decided that I wanted to become purely plant-based, which I have, and I just still stick to my cooked and raw. A little bit more raw we do in summer, obviously, because you've just got that much more variety of good new salad food. So really lovely. So that's where we are at the moment, and delving more into more health. We do more health tools, like we incorporate essential oils, great for incorporating into your cooking, applying topically, of course, and diffusing. So that's another really good health tool. There's 2 lovely, very well-known brands around the world who have really top-grade therapeutic essential oils. We do water, which is, everybody does water, but the water that we have, we make sure it's distilled and remineralized. As you can see, we're in a bush forest environment, so we are very fortunate that we can have tank water and not chlorine and fluoridated. And we also have, I've got here, which is really important to us, our hydrogenated water from this health fountain, which if I turn this on, you will see all the bubbles of the hydrogen. Can you see that? The hydrogen going into the water. So that's another topic on its own. So that's our water intake, and how, because we are mainly water anyway, getting into our aqueous system is really good clean water. Again, minimizing toxins, replacing our water as clean as possible and remineralizing it. And of course our food, and most importantly too, we're really very, very blessed to have come on board a range of supplements that are very, very unique to the planet. They are literally out of this world supplements, and I will talk a little bit more about them as we go forward through the 7 days. But that's going to be a big focus into my lattes, is putting in various supplements which we all need, even with our lifestyle being as clean as we can possibly get it. We are still exposed to environments, particularly environmentally, whether it's going into town and being exposed to pollution, fumes, toxins floating through the air, chemtrails, wireless technology, which is very damaging to the brain structure. We're still exposed to that, so I am detoxing daily and re-nourishing daily. So the purpose of these brews were to bring more supplements into our body, which are bioactivated through this technology that I have been so blessed to be introduced to, and I'll talk about them more as we go along. So today I have Immunity Mushroom Magic. So this is what we're doing today is my mushroom brew. This is a immunity mix of 12 mushrooms. Now they're all bioactivated through the technology that I use through our supplements. Now I'll touch briefly on this technology because it's important to understand, and I will talk more about it as we go along. So this technology, which is founded from Dr. Mariana Light in Oregon in the US, Advanced Resonant Plasma Technology, they are a team of holistic health experts, scientists, and Dr. Mariana Light herself, who is a medical herbalist and more. So they have been very, very fortunate to use this technology, which incorporates radionics, resonance, and frequency, and it's 3 processes combined into one, which they have naturally patented themselves. So what this technology does, it's using those 3 processes which activates any substance, whether it be liquid, solid, or gas, and permanently enforces it with universal life energy and puts a permanent charge into those substances, whether it be liquid, whether it be a powder, whether it be their herbal pills, whatever they make, their creams, their solutions, they permanently charge and bioactivate all their products. So it is reached at a cellular level and raises the vibratory action of that cell, as every cell has its own frequency. Our cells, our skin cells, our muscle cells, our bone cells all radiate at different variations, and this plasma technology is able to permanently charge and raise the vibratory action of the cells and bringing more light or biophotons field into the cells. So this immunity mushroom mix is no exception. So it's 12 different mushrooms. Now I'm going to have to put my eyes on to read them for you because I've got a few notes here with them, because it's all the 12 different mushrooms, and they all provide different functions. So let me just put my eyes on to read them to you. Some you will be familiar with, some you will not. So what's in this mushroom magic latte? So we've got reishi, which a lot of you are probably familiar with. You would have heard of reishi. That's a really powerful immune booster. It assists the liver. So this mushroom mix really assists all of our organs, like the brain, the lung, the kidneys, the liver, the heart, and it's a holistic immunity mix actually, so it's treating the whole as well as the organs and other various benefits, which I will read out. So the reishi, as I mentioned, it's a powerful immune booster. It's excellent mushy for the athlete because it helps to keep lactic acid in check, and also that helps with post-recovery. It also assists the liver as well, and great for your physical endurance. Now it also has in it the, which is fairly new, I think, is the reishi broken shell extract. I don't know whether you've seen a reishi shell, but it's very hard. And in that shell are all the spores that the mushroom releases to produce, obviously, these little wee thousands of tiny spores into the environment for the regeneration of their own species. And in those little wee spores are a potent powerhouse. It's very rich in selenium and also germanium, which is a nutrient for anti-tumour and antioxidant. Also it has the beta-glucans, which is a fibre, and also for the heart health, and it regulates cholesterol and fatty acids. It's got in the chaga, which assists in combating heart disease, diabetes, parasites. It has the cordyceps, which is another fairly well-known mushroom. That's well known for helping inflammation, free radical infection, which that's where your dis-ease and anti-aging comes in. The cordyceps is used for kidney support and really good for blood sugar regulation. Another really goodie for the athletic performer. Lion's mane, that is your brain food. So the lion's mane, another really well-known one, is that's good for the regeneration of nerves and nerve growth. So that's assisting with memory as well as depression and anxiety. Now this one I can't pronounce that well. Agaricus blazei, which is native to Brazil. They've popped that one in as well. So that's medical benefits, helping with hepatitis, diabetes, dermatitis, and promising studies on cancers and tumours. Tremella, tremella's a lovely one. That's your beauty mushroom. Very, very hydrating. They put that tremella in their Golden Radiance face cream, which I use. It's absolutely divine. That's rich in vitamin D, protein and minerals, and it's also as a potent energy tonic for the kidneys, lungs, heart, and regulates blood pressure, chest congestion and asthma. Maitake, that's another antioxidant mushroom. It's blood regulating, sugar regulating, also promising with some cancers as well. Oyster mushroom, it's another immunity mushroom for allergies, candida, streptococcus, blood regulation again, and it's also too anti-inflammatory. Two more is the shiitake. Oh, that's a favourite one of mine, the shiitake. I use that in my vegan broth. It's absolutely divine. I love shiitake. It is a really well-known fungus. That's a good source of copper, zinc, manganese. It has a potent antifungal effect as well, and also promising with the halting and stopping of tumours. And the last one is Poriococcus. That's not one I'm not so familiar with, but it's in there for a reason, and that helps with anxiety, fluid retention, stomach ailments, dizziness, coughing, and a natural support also for kidney function. So there you've got an amazing array of mushrooms, and the nourishing properties are pretty much over the top. So they have bioactivated that, of course, they can do that. Now these mushrooms are grown slightly different than some other mushrooms. They're all grown in the US. I researched this out quite well, and they are grown using the Junko method, which is an Asian method whereby the substrate is, rather than chips or logs, they use organic grasses as their growing medium, and then it's processed into extracts, and then it goes through the three process of being bioactivated with the advanced resin plasma technology. So it's an amazing mushroom mix. I use it in my meatballs, I use it in my soups and stews. I've even made some desserts with it, which is quite nice. So how you make this, I'm not actually going to show you how to make it, I'm just going to tell you because it's very, very easy. You can use any milk, obviously, that you want to. I make my own bioactivated almond milk. And in this, you've got almond milk, you've got your immunity mushroom mix. All you need is half a teaspoon. And so this is for 1 serving, so 1 cup of milk. You've got cacao butter, and you've got your raw organic cacao powder. You've got a C60 molecule, which is the advanced resonant plasma, their own unique C60 molecule, their plasma ionic essential minerals, a little bit of Himalayan salt, and a sweetener if you need to. I don't add a sweetener. I find with the almond milk it's sweet enough, but obviously if you want to use any sweetener you like your maple syrup or your agave, or if you want to use honey, honey's great in your in many nutrients and minerals and energy, or monk fruit's another good vegan alternative if you want to. Monk fruit's an Asian culture native to on the border of China, I believe, and it's very, very sweet. It doesn't mess with the glycemic index, so it's great for diabetes. So what I do is I measure out a cup, and then I will pour half the cup into the saucepan to warm up, and then I'll put the rest of the milk and the other ingredients into a shakeable container, or you can blitz it in the blender if you wanted to get it a little bit more frothy. And then I make sure it's very, very well mixed. Pour it into the saucepan that's on the stove, and then lastly add your cacao butter, and that will melt just very, very slowly. Don't have it on a hot heat. All of these lattes, I would prefer that you don't boil them, just bring them up to a very, very slow simmer and then turn them off. Minerals can withstand a high heat, vitamins tend to wither, so we want to retain as much nutrient content in these drinks as possible. So here is the C60, just a couple of drops, it's a concentrate. Here is the plasma minerals. Here are just to show you, the beautiful mushies. It's the extract. Now the C60, I'll just briefly go over with you. I'll explain more to you that as the day goes on. But the C60 molecule is a molecule that's actually found in space. C60 meaning it's carbon, and 60 meaning it has 60 sides. So you can liken it to a soccer ball. And one of the reasons I put them in my food is it helps to assimilate the nutrients that much more readily into the body. So it'll help draw in the nutrients and that much more. So that's really it. I will post the recipe on my site and in the Life Force Fruity group, and you can access the recipe and you can change it or alter it in any way that you like. If you want to find out more about the supplements that I add in, there will be a link there directing you to more information about it. You can have a really good read for yourself, and if you want to get some, you can click through from that blog, that information page, into the shop. Now if you do want to purchase it, because I am in New Zealand, there is a separate link on my shop for if you are purchasing outside of New Zealand. It will take you directly to the head office, which will lessen delivery time, and it will also lessen cost of delivery costs. So look out for that link. If you're in New Zealand, just go straight to the cart. So that's it for today. This is the immunity mushroom magic latte, which is really, really nice. And like I say, you can alter it to however you want. If you want to add in a different plant-based milk or your own dairy milk, please feel free to do so. I just use almond milk because that's just a favourite. I've tried oat, didn't like it quite so much. Soy's a no-no for me. There are you could use coconut milk even, is quite nice. As a replacement for the cacao butter, you could use coconut oil as well, as long as it's cold pressed and I just felt that the cacao butter gives it a really nice depth of that cacao flavour. So that's it today for my latte. I will see you again tomorrow with some more information and a new brew that you can try. So have a beautiful day, and we will check in tomorrow. Bye for now.